Well, it's glitzy, it's glamorous, and more. We're talking about the Miss Tanzania USA Pageant, which takes place this weekend in the Washington, D.C. area. Joining us in the studio with a preview are Winny Casey, the pageant's founder and CEO, and Gil Ingles, a pageant producer and former host. Thank you both for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
So, Winny, I'd like to ask you the first question. Tell us a little bit about when the pageant started. I know it's relatively new, and why you decided to launch the effort here in America.
This is our second annual Miss Tanzania USA Pageant, and first I was doing fashion show, and I met this lady. Her name is Lady Kate. She told me, "Winnie, we haven't seen you in the Miss Africa. Do you think you can do this?" I said, "Yes, I could do this, because you know, beauty goes with fashion." So we started last year, and this is our second year this year to do this.
Okay. One more question for you. I read in some of the literature that this is meant to be somewhat of a cross-cultural exchange to perhaps teach Americans about Tanzania. And I noticed, I read some things about fashion, what you're doing with fashion there. Talk about what the girls wear.
Actually, my main promotion is to promote my country through women what to wear every day, which is kanga. And the girls will be wearing kanga. We are making dresses from kanga. That is to promote my country and to promote the wear which the ladies wear in Tanzania. 5 feet, you're going to see thousands of ladies wearing kanga.
And is this kanga you're wearing?
I'm sorry, this time it's not kanga, it is chitenge.
That's okay, well, we look forward to that.
Yes.
Now, Gil, tell me about what was it like to be a host?
It was a great experience, I have to say. One of the things that happens is that since I'm originally from Angola, actually participating in something that had to do with Tanzania was definitely great. I mean, Angola and Tanzania have had great relationships as countries in the past, even during the colonial and independence period. So for me to actually get to experience some of the stories that I used to hear about that country was great. It's a great event, one of the best events that I can say that probably we have going on this weekend.
And you get to be with all these beautiful women.
Definitely.
That can't be bad for a guy.
You should have put it out there like this, but since you did, yes, I will. Yes, I will. And I'll be joined by actually Mr. Guy Lambert of WPGC 95.5. who's also going to host the program. So I'm co-hosting.
Okay.
Yes.
And do you have any affiliation with the Miss Tanzania pageant in Tanzania, or any plans for a link up there?
We have a plan. We are planning that the girl, the Miss who's going to win here, could go home and compete with the other girls so that she can get an opportunity to go to Miss World.
Great. Well, that's exciting.
That's right.
I can't wait to see some of these girls.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
And Gil, why don't you tell me, what is the mission of the pageant? You know, girls enter these things for all sorts of reasons, but what do pageant directors hope the girls will get out of it?
The main root of this pageant is actually to be a scholarship pageant. So one of the primary purposes, of course, is to ensure that their education is on point and on time. The second thing is to actually have them also serve as liaisons between the executives of the country and the diaspora, as well as the diaspora and the rest of the world. For instance, on the last pageant, the Queen, she had to travel to Tanzania. She actually visited schools. She went in and not only did she speak about getting more girls and more women in non-traditional careers, but because she's a chemical engineer, so she spoke about getting other women in non-traditional, in women non-traditional careers, excuse me, and also to ensure that they uplift the culture, the African culture, and that we exchange the culture of Africa with the diaspora, because whether you believe it or not, the diaspora has a culture of its own. I mean, previously we used to feel like our culture here was the same as back home, but it's really not the same. Once you live here and you've been here, your culture is totally different. So that serves as a liaison for that.
I get it. That's
yes.
Interesting. I have a question for you, Winny. In America, a lot of times these pageants get criticized. You know, there are TV shows showing the bad side of pageants, you know, the nastiness. How do you respond to some of that, and how do you hope to keep the spirit of the pageant where it should be?
First of all, the rules, some of them, they don't reflect so much the height, the weight, and give all the girls the opportunity to be around maybe first round, second round. Don't discriminate too much, you see, because everybody wants to be in the pageant, and the girls, they want to be beautiful. And when you do it, make sure you give all the contestants something so that they feel they belong in the pageant.
Great, great. Okay, and just briefly, Gil, where can people see it online, either during or after?
Yes, they of course can always Google Miss Tanzania USA to catch it online. They can also visit the website of the pageant, which is www.misstanzaniausa.com. Most of the girls competing in the pageant are there. And also, just to add to something that Winnie was actually saying, yes, very briefly adding, one of the things that, for instance, Miss Tanzania has done, which is different from a lot of other pageants, is the fact that we do not include a bathing suit competition. Instead, there's actually a talent competition in which any of the girls get to expose whatever talent they have. Great. And like I said, the primary purpose of that pageant is, of course, to expose Tanzania to the rest of the world. So most of the outfits are made out of kanga, which is the traditional cloth of Tanzania.
Okay. Well, listen, I'd like to thank you both for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Winny Casey, founder and CEO of the Miss Tanzania USA Pageant, and Gil Ingles, a pageant producer and former host.